Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play or lose your seat on the couch or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop Game Day Faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
You know that feeling when your favorite brand really gets you? Deliver that feeling to your customers every time. Memorable moments like these are key to building your business and your brand. Brands like Headley & Bennett use Klaviyo's marketing automation platform to turn their customer data into more personalized connections across AI-powered email, SMS, analytics, and more, making every moment count. Build smarter digital relationships with your customers and make every moment count with Klaviyo. Learn more at KLAVIYO.com.
Listeners, by now you know you've seen the viral spectaculars. You have seen and heard of all the things that happened around this event, but it is Chris's birthday this week. He is turning 34 years of age.
Birthdays are so weird.
Had what I heard, because I could not attend, was the party of the century at the duplex last night.
Party of the century is correct. There was truly one man sitting at the bar when we walked in at like 6:45. Right. And by 7:30, like it was the whole downstairs was packed full of my friends. And more than one person walked in and was like, "Hi, oh my God, nice to see you. Happy birthday. Is Dominick here?"
Oh.
Multiple. You were sadly missed. You were sadly missed.
I think multiple's probably underselling it. I'm going to guess everyone.
No, most people. We're like, where's Dominick? Why isn't Dominick here? Yeah.
Well,
so you ruined
it.
You ruined my birthday.
This is a pre-planned vacation. Hey, remember when you came to my birthday party in February?
No, I couldn't because I wasn't even.
Because you fucking did it. We should move on. No, happy birthday.
You kept like apologizing to me multiple times. I said, you were like, I'm not supposed to be so upset that I'm missing this. Why is that? I'm like, because I didn't come to your birthday party.
Right, exactly. But I feel worse now because there was star-studded. I was the only star at my birthday, but you had Dorinda Medley there and Margaret Josephs. I was quite FOMO'd by the entire situation, as were the people that I am staying with in Provincetown who would have also been at that party and are, I want to say, furious that they weren't there.
That's on them.
Oh,
you know?
Oh, here comes one. Here comes
Seamus just walks in frame, does the throat slitting action, and then walks away.
There's nothing better than a throat slit. It's why hands were made, is to make the throat slit.
Just know that longtime listener Clinton Kelly himself from What Not to Wear came in and said, I have a present for you, and then handed me a jar of tuna that is like high quality, high grade tuna. And that was his gift to me for my birthday.
I love that. Certainly not the best gift you received, but definitely one of the gifts, because the best gift, if you'd like to see it on display betwixt my bosom, please go to the Fixing Famous People Instagram page, where you see that I bought Christopher the Heart of the Ocean jewel on our company card.
You keep saying that you bought it for me, but you own it. Like you bought it for yourself. And everyone listening to this knows that you bought it for yourself.
And I will be giving it to Chris in January when I'm done.
After you wear it at your holiday show. Yeah. I will say, whatever, I'm just sidestepping completely this whole like rigmarole, like, you know, circus act you're doing to like, I am so happy that you did not buy that bicycle chain. Like the actual chain that the Heart of the Ocean is on was an absolute menace to society. And the understated chain, and I use that term very loosely, is actually makes the Heart of the Ocean thing palatable.
Yeah.
And it actually doesn't look as bad. It is still absolutely insane, but I was like, oh, I don't absolutely hate it. And it is ridiculous. But that chain on its own is kind of a bigger chain, which is what you wanted. And it's a little bit more blingy, but it's not Mr. T, which I'm...
P.S. The chain that it's on, it actually hangs twice as low. I had to move it over and tie it behind my back.
No, are you serious?
I believe that it would go almost to my navel. It's how long the chain is.
Are you serious?
I'm not lying. When we get off, I'll show you how long it is.
It's like a belly chain. It's like
bizarre.
Not even like
Speaking of something that is a menace, this microphone I am using today, I will post a visual of it on the intraweb. I am out of town and I forgot my fucking podcast kit. So I had to drive like 50 miles to the nearest Best Buy to get something palatable. And it's a gaming microphone that is white, as the one Barbara Streisand insisted that she used whenever she goes on Oprah. It is white, and when you speak into it, it's LED.
It's like
flashes
a
rainbow shit.
It's the gayest thing you've ever seen in your life.
I'm going to sit on this thing when we're done recording. I have never seen something this gay and delicious in my whole life.
It's like truly
how fantastic it is.
It looks like a butt plug.
Oh, you know how it goes on next week's Pre-Fixe.
Oh, God. Yeah,
Chris might be opening it alone next week and saying, well, Dominick is in the hospital for something called a perforation, and we'll have more on that in the fall.
It's an anal fissure. Can't even deal.
Speaking of anal fissures, we don't do politics, but I want to just talk about a couple of things from the RNC that happened last week. Savannah Chrisley, the daughter of jailed Todd and blobbity blah Chrisley of Chrisley Knows Best.
How dare she?
Speaks at the RNC. Look, Republican celebrities, fine, do you, whatever. She gets up there and has the unmitigated gaudacity to say, put it in the glossary, no one take that.
Gaudacity.
To get up there and say, my parents are in jail because of their conservative values. Savannah, baby, Savannah.
Bankruptcy.
Savvy. Can we call you Savvy?
Yeah.
Savannah, your dad is in jail because he deliberately committed crimes, because he wanted to be somewhere for 10 years where he could get his ass plowed mercilessly and not get busted on Grindr. That is why your dad is in jail. Also, he's a fucking thief and a criminal, just like your mother. Your conservative values. Must everything be rigged? Who sits down and says, let's put that Todd Chrisley in jail? Nobody. No one says that.
Sadly, though, it's like kind of a good move for them. I know it's terrible to think that, but it's like, oh, like, yep, it gets everyone all jazzed up and everyone's mad and then this and that. And it's like, oh, everyone's persecuted. It's like, no, you filed bankruptcy 3 times.
You're a criminal.
Yeah.
We're not stacking the political deck against the cast of Chrisley Knows Best. Sit down, Sally.
Well, that's their version of like Kamala being the brat. Do you know what I mean? Like how whenever you saw that Charlie XCX is like Kamala is brat. That's their version of this. You know what I mean? Which I will say, as ridiculous as it is, if this gets like 18-year-olds to like do videos that's like, get ready with me when I go to like vote for brat, vote brat. Like that to me is like, I'll stop making fun of influencers if that's what happens.
But she might, and I'm sure the people at Kamala's house are down with it. Like they're probably overjoyed. You
saw that they redid their like banner on Twitter to be like brat. It just said Kamala HQ in the brat font with the green and the black. They're all in on it. Which
it's insane.
I like, but she has to do this and then never do anything like this again. Like she has to just move forward.
It does have to be like a temporary.
Yeah. And then be like, okay, now I'm an adult and not an idiot. You know what I mean?
Now I have to run the free world and show you why I can. Yeah. So I'm going to remove.
Right. If the whole thing is just this, it's like, Houston, we have a problem. But
what happens if it turns out that Kamala Harris was the one who threw that bottle at Charlie over the summer?
Or like hit BB Rexa with the phone. Remember
That's who I meant. I'm a fucking idiot. I confused the two of them on an hourly basis.
How and why?
I don't know. It's because they have X's in their names.
One of them has a career and one doesn't. So it's...
Oh, Slam City.
I mean...
By the way,
is it even a slam?
I need to get back to the RNC for 1 second.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
But I want to talk about Matt Gaetz's face. Come on.
It's wild.
This is an entire party that doesn't talk to out gay people. Like, who did you go to for this?
You know what's sad? If your boy was there, he would have talked him out of it.
Which boy?
With the fucking gay Republican from Long Island. What is his name? I can't even remember.
Who?
Katara Ravash. What's his name?
George Santos.
George
What, you're having a
Santos.
brain fart. You think Katara would have talked him out of it?
He would have been like, girl, look at you. I mean, not for nothing. Matt Gaetz should sue that person that did that to him.
There's
looks terrible.
So much going on with this face. It's not just the work he had done, but it's the makeup that was being worn. It's like
no, and the eyebrows being like, it's like when Jane Fonda takes off that tape that she has in the back of her head in Grace and Frankie. Like that's what it's like pre that. Like it's like so lifted up, and he's like not old. Like it's like he got like
that's
a full
what I don't
facelift.
understand.
It's like crazy.
That's why he got so much done at once, and he's like 35 or something. It was so weird.
You saw all the memes that were like a first-year housewife, and it's like him last year, and then it's like
totally
second-year housewife, and it's like this insane face. Yeah.
No, but the other memes were for the before picture is like regular season Drag Race, and then the RNC pictures were All Stars glow up for Drag Race.
Yeah, but that's what it is. Like,
but it didn't glow anything. He looks like Lady Elaine from Mr. Rogers. Do you remember that hideous cunt? That's what he looks like. I cannot believe that he looked at himself in the mirror and thought, this is a good idea for me to go on television. You cancel when that happens.
It's so bad. Well, he can't. No, are you kidding me? I
don't know. That's going to stick with him forever. He looks redonkulous.
Well, how do you, I don't, and this is the thing. I think it's like a minimum, like a threading, let alone like, that's a facelift, like, right?
It looked like a facelift.
That's like, you don't turn back the clock on that. That's his face now. Plastic surgeons write in the comments, but like that, I don't think we're coming back from that.
Well, speaking of plastic surgery that you never recover from, let's switch over to Sharon Osbourne for a moment, shall we?
God. Oh, our Britney watch is
it's coming. We're moments away.
Over. The cup runneth over. Yeah.
So they're having a normal. Sharon and Ozzy are being interviewed somewhere. They're spilling tea like normal. They're having a good time. They talk about all of his health problems. They're dying to leave the United States and move back to the UK, but every time they try, he has a health problem and they have to stay here. So they're working on that. Who the fuck?
Like, are you
just leave? How long is the flight? What's going to happen in 5 hours?
6 hours. You fly to LA to New York in the same time that you fly to London. Yeah, it's like get on a boat. You're rich. Like
at a certain point, Ozzy, who has not been playing with a full deck. I mean, since Kennedy was
the 90s.
Being honest,
no, really.
Comes out with like, he doesn't like Britney Spears dance videos on the internet. He just starts like shitting on them. Well, are you going to say Britney Watch so we can move on?
Britney Watch.
Hi, y'all. Britney gives one of her patented, and by the way, it's probably not Britney, it's Zila who's doing
it. It's Zila. No, it's Zila. It's absolutely Zila.
5-page diss essays or whatever. But at the end of this, she's talking about a whole bunch of shit and then just says that she heard the Osbournes were making fun of her, describes them as the most uninteresting family who has ever lived, and closes the piece by saying literally, fuck off to them.
They can kindly fuck off. I just have the screenshot of kindly fuck off, which is the last slide all by itself with her name. And it's like, I'm using that. And you know that just about 75 million people have written in being like, Dominick must do a dramatic reading of this.
Oh, I would be happy to. I'm unprepared to do it today. I would love to do it next week when I've had time to prepare and really center on Zila's motivation and rest my vocal cords. Yes, I'll be on vocal rest all week.
Because every time you do it, you're like, I can't speak anymore. Like, good thing we're done with this because I'm like, I've destroyed my vocal cords for the day.
The last one was rough on me. It truly was. Page after page of it. Speaking of people who should go on vocal rest, let's switch over to Army fucking Hammer.
Wait. I have to stop you.
You're not done Britney?
There's more with Britney, I feel like.
I may not even know this.
I don't even know let me just go to Zila's page. Because I feel like every other day, there she just posted a random picture of her in a thong and her butt out. And it just says, the caption is, you know me, ? Me don't know English, ... Say hello to my ass, ! Doesn't make any sense. Love it.
I love her. I love when she goes, has an episode.
Wait, Dominick, you forget, they like gave her phone back for 2 days and this is what happened. And you forget that she posted this picture of cheese Tillamook.
Oh, yeah, the Tillamook.
Tillamook Mexican blend shredded cheese and for no reason at all. And she just writes, when people say, let's celebrate love and freedom this year, ... I prefer just fuck. And then like shrugging emoji, exclamation points. Beautiful.
Again,
this Tillamook cheese, like it shook the nation. People were like, what is this? Why is this? Who is this? I was like, unclear. It doesn't matter. She's just getting herself to the people and I love it.
Totally. She does just sound a little bit like someone who should be under a conservatorship. Again, I don't know if anyone's ever thought
Dominick,
of that
stop
as
it.
an option, but okay. Tillamook.
Prayer chain, prayers up, everyone. She's back.
You're right.
She's back. I want a Knives dancing video. I want it. I'm just going to say it. I want it.
You know what? If they don't put Britney Spears in Knives Out 3 just as an inside joke, then why do it?
Is there a Knives Out 3?
Yes, they're like just cast it. They're going to be.
Was there a Knives Out 2?
There sure was. There sure was. It was fantastic.
Was that the glass onion?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, copy.
It was great.
I want a Knives video. Is that too much to ask?
Well, for her, probably not.
Yeah. That's all. Okay. I mean, I love Britney, and obviously, all of you, please light your "Hey Y'all" prayer candles. Like, please, she needs them. We love her. We love her.
Them.
Love Zila.
And then
okay,
them.
Moving on. Go ahead.
Armie Hammer. We were saying someone should quiet.
Dominick.
I don't know. He goes on Bill Maher and Piers Morgan. And
Did you watch the Bill Maher interview?
I only watched part of it because I was a little uncomfortable, to be honest with you. It felt.
What is wrong with Bill? Bill Maher is...
Bill Maher is also like losing
a menace
his shit as well. Yeah.
A menace. I was like, what on earth is this? He doesn't let anyone speak. And all the comments on YouTube were like, Bill Maher, shut up. Like, let your guests talk. And I will just... Armie Hammer, wowie wee wow. They like...
It's the happiest time of his life. But he's also completely broke. And then Bill Maher's like, but that's really impossible for you to be completely broke, right? Like, you're the... heir to something. Armie Hammer
to an oil fortune.
Never will be, by the way.
Heir to an oil fortune. But is that all in a trust?
I don't know.
Probably.
I just know that he's not ever going to be wanting for anything.
No.
It's very
Unless
silly.
what did he work for $10,000 for a movie? You know what I mean? It's like, Call Me by Your Name. He is like the humongous film. Like, you know what I mean? He could ride on the residuals of that for the rest of his life. It was like,
well, the more important thing is like he doesn't shy away from all of the stuff he's been accused of. Like,
which I was like, okay, like.
So to basically justify him getting canceled, basically.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to it, you're like, oh, okay, sometimes cancel culture does work. You know, he does talk about carving his initials into some, but you know, it was all consent and blah, blah. So, you know, we are a sex positive podcast.
Yeah. We're talking about you putting this microphone up your asshole. Like,
yeah, I mean, come on, you couldn't get more sex positive.
Yeah. You can. I mean, sure.
But it's about consent. The allegations were always about consent and making people uncomfortable. They weren't about anything consensual. You can carve your own face into your
do whatever you want.
Yeah. As long as you have permission to do it, do it.
Yeah.
So
I will say, not for nothing, he's allowed to do whatever he wants. However, you can't do whatever you want and then also be an A-list movie actor where your persona and your credibility and your fame is the thing that gets people to come to this movie, and they're hinging the success of the film on your good name.
Correct.
So although you can do whatever you like once a light is cast on you, and that is quite literally your job to be likable so that people will come to this film. That's sorry, but that makes you not likable.
You listen to these interviews and you realize that he's not. This is probably the last we're going to hear from him in like an official capacity. Like,
I mean, he had to go on he went on Bill Maher's YouTube page.
Well, not Piers Morgan as well. You know, Piers gets a lot. He does get a lot of eyes. He's annoying as fuck, but he's.
I know. Wait, I can't even believe I've been following. Every single person that comes on Piers Morgan is like, oh, and P.S. that woman from Baby Reindeer also stalked me in the 80s. Like, she's getting destroyed by every one of his guests.
So just in case you don't know what we're talking about, recently on Piers Morgan, not only did Armie Hammer appear, but, you know, the woman who is alleging that she is the fictionalized nut job in the Netflix series Baby Reindeer, she appeared on Piers to make all these
herself.
claims. In the week since then, she has now announced that she is also going to sue Piers Morgan now. Not sure for what.
Why?
But, because she was misled into what she would be asked on the show. She's
bonkers. Yeah, bonkers.
But anyway, this woman's alleged first victim prior to the storyline of Baby Reindeer appears on Piers Morgan. And
Dominick, she's the second person. She's the second person to come forward. Piers had some guy, I don't even know who it was, some politician from London or something, where they're arguing about Gaza and like Israel versus Palestine and like all this stuff that has nothing to do with anything, like nothing to do with baby reindeer. And then at the end of the thing, after they've been screaming at each other for 55 minutes, he goes, oh, by the way, that woman that you had on the other week, she used to like turn up everywhere I was and stalked me too in the 80s before we even had cell phones.
Jesus.
Like in the last act of the thing, he just runs that woman over with a complete bus. And then this other woman's like, I even predate that. It's wild.
I think we should get an order of protection against her just in advance.
I know. Oh, God.
Hailey Bieber, or Hailey Biebs, as she is known, probably somewhere.
Sure.
Apparently, she's about to pop with the Bieber child, and has said that she's not close with her family anymore. Her family, of course, being the Baldwins, specifically Stephen Baldwin.
Why is she not close to their family?
That she said they're not close anymore since she got married. She started her own family, and so they're not really.
Oh, brother, I don't like
really
that.
a part of it.
Well, were they ever that close? That's a question.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they were. I feel like Stephen Baldwin was heavily into the fact that his daughter was with Justin Bieber. But yeah, we haven't seen much of Stephen since then.
No,
so,
that's sad.
she's on her own.
I don't like that.
And
And he's kind of on his own.
Not a good year for the Baldwins.
Yeah, no,
Good
really
Jesus.
not. No, I feel for them, for not the Baldwins, but for the Biebs. Like I'm like Justin and Hailey. Like it's like sad. Because his dad's like a nutcase. Remember his dad, the like hot, like Jersey Shore, like weirdo?
Right.
Remember? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's weird.
He's, like
he's weird.
Age. Yeah.
Like, none of them are like, I don't know. That's sad. I feel like they're just like adrift by themselves. And that's sad.
So, JoJo Siwa. JoJo Siwa has announced that she is going to have triplets using 3 different surrogates.
Are you serious?
I am serious. It hasn't happened yet.
I don't believe
but this
you.
is her. I sent you the link. It's in the New York Post.
Are you
JoJo
fucking
Siwa
kidding me?
reveals unique way she plans to have triplets using 3 different surrogates. Like they're all going to be fertilized by the same dude, and just so she can make sure they are triplets, she's going to implant them in 3 different.
Dominic, I don't even know what to say.
Well, I'm going to say something for you here. 'Cause in the middle of the article,
Wait, I'm looking at it now.
In the middle of the article, I don't even, you know what? If she wants to have triplets that way, that actually seems like a mildly genius idea. Fucking do it. Like, I'm scrunching my brow because it's JoJo Siwa. And because she said this, because I'm gay as shit and I have to plan a pregnancy much different than a straight person, I actually want to take 3 eggs, fertilize 3 eggs, and have 3 surrogates. Whew. Okay, JoJo.
Okay.
JoJo, I don't know if you know how your lady parts work, but let me give you this lesson in homosexuality. They work just like straight people's parts. You being gay and shit doesn't mean that you have to plan.
You can't carry a child. Yeah.
Stop.
Okay, I'm assuming that she's like saying like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. Ha, ha, ha. Like, I'm assuming this is a joke. If she really tries to bring 3 children into this world at once and she doesn't even know what she's doing, I'm going to be very concerned.
Oh, I absolutely
I don't
think
like
this
this.
is true. I absolutely think it's true. And that she's planning it. There's no way that it's false.
This is insane. I really don't like this. Why is not every person alive talking about this right now?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Dominic, this is...
I know you've been on like a month-long birthday celebration, and I've had to be here watching JoJo Siwa's every move. It's not been fun for me.
One day.
I'm glad your birthday is over.
My God. This is wild. I can't even deal with this.
Do you know what I can't do?
Wait. You know what my mom called me yesterday? And she was like, I saw Dominic's FOMO. And she was like, it looks good.
Oh my God. She meant my mofo.
But she was saying, and I said, you mean mofo? But just my mother saying the word mofo or FOMO was just like the funniest shit of my life.
Mofo, yes. Oh yeah, I guess we should update the listeners who don't follow us on Insta, but I did receive the half mo, half fo, and 2 rave reviews, I might add.
Yeah, it looks great. And
I appreciate and I'm not exaggerating, the hundreds of people who have sent messages or comments on the internet about my hair. I have never felt so seen in my life. And I will be consulting you for every nip and tuck that's coming up in the next couple of years. And I will keep you posted about that. Because I'm gay and shit, I got to plan stuff out. You know what I mean?
gay as shit. That's what it was.
Jennifer Lynn Lopez. This is a movie that just won't end. I'll divorce them for free. I'll do something. Can I be a notary for them?
Just say it. Like, just say you're divorced. Like, we know.
She had a necklace that said Ben and Jen, and then she swapped it out for a necklace that said Jen and did one of her Insta photo shoots and posted it. She had I don't know why we didn't lead with this, but apparently she had a Bridgerton themed birthday party in the Hamptons.
I mean, what on earth? Like, what on earth?
Well, that her husband did not attend. So it's sort of, come on.
I know. I feel bad. They're done. I want her to get 9 million years away from him. What's she going to do next?
Well,
I will say her Instagram, she's so beautiful.
Oh my God. I was just about to say, Sadie, she turned 55.
That picture of her, like that selfie of her with like the Chanel earrings with the necklace.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, you are never, like, she doesn't age.
No. Well, that's sort of like a drawing a little bit, but like even when the post captures her candidly and you see her out.
Yeah, like even in her bad pictures are like, she looks amazing.
She went into my friend Mark's store in the Hamptons apparently last week, and he said she's just lovely and truly, truly just beautiful.
Yeah.
I've never been in the same room with her. Have you? I'm trying to think if she was at an award show red carpet. I don't think I've ever seen her in person.
No, but we were, where were we? Oh, we were literally filming the Real Housewives of New Jersey, like not reunion. But Melissa Gorga was like, we were talking about JLo while we were eating lunch, and Melissa Gorga was like, you see her and you're just like in awe of how beautiful she is.
Gary, the Golden Bachelor.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to call him Gary. I'm calling him
It is Gary. No, it is Gary, but it looks like Jerry. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I guess there was a cringy moment on television because Gary and Teresa filmed Celebrity Family Feud like a year ago. And then it just like freshly aired. And Steve Harvey was like, who's this? He's like, well, I'm Gary. And this is my beautiful wife, Teresa. Ruh-roh.
Yeah. Yowza. You know, they're there right now in the mansion. Like, probably. Right.
I hope so.
You know they're there. This isn't them on Family Feud isn't the last time we're going to see them in the same room together. I can tell you that.
Shiloh Jolie, and that is now her official name.
Wow.
I guess when you change your name, you got to like take a fucking ad out in the newspaper and shit. And so she did. And so it appeared in the paper this week, whatever, out in California. I'm changing my name from Jolie Pitt to Jolie. When is this?
Can't we like bug their house? Like, what do we do? Can't we like clone her phone or something? Like, what do we do?
For the record, I love Brad Pitt. I mean, I don't want him to be revealed as a monster, but it is building up. These kids are going to
signs point to yes, Dominic. It's all signs point to yes.
It will break my heart. We talk shit about everyone here, but it's we like a lot of the people that we're talking about. I love him. I will always love him.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
By the way, have you seen, I know you have because Rebecca has sent some of these to you. Someone in the past week has been posting fake shooting permits around Manhattan that they're shooting like that.
It looks so good.
Listener Courtney Wilson sent me one.
Come forward, please, whoever you are.
Please come forward. A listener named Courtney Wilson texted me one that said, that Sex and Just Like That was filming. And it also gave the scene content. It looks just like a regular permit, like a regular filming notice. It's laminated and everything. But a regular filming notice will not detail really what the scenes are, at least not ones that I've ever posted. No. The scene says Carrie and Charlotte beat the shit out of each other in a Fight Club kind of way. And it's just stapled to all the trees on one block. It's
genius.
Hilarious. Another one of them says, project details. After getting hit by a city bike, Carrie retains Fletcher Reed, Jim Carrey, from the film Liar, Liar as her lawyer.
Honestly, a great idea.
It's genius. Wait, let me read this last one. Filming notice, Sex in the City and Just Like That. Project details. Carrie goes on a bad date with Mr. Bean, the character, and then accidentally sends him a nude.
Okay. Dominic, all of these things, from the shit that they have pulled over the last 2 seasons, 0 of these scenes are like
these should be actual storylines.
Not in the realm that they could be doing. Like, I would believe all of these being in season 3 of the show.
Whew.
Especially Mr. Bean and sending the nude. That's funny. That should just be like they should. Michael Patrick King, take notes.
We got 2 more things today. The first is that shooting for the Suits spinoff, which I believe is being called Suits LA or whatever.
Yeah.
It's being either piloted or shooting or casting. Like, it is a go. And I don't care what anyone says. It is a matter of time.
Oh, yeah.
Before it is called Suits, the Duchess of Smuckers.
Yeah.
She must be salivating right now. Like, we don't live on a world where Meghan Markle does not end up on that show.
No, well, why isn't she? Why isn't she the crowning jewel of it? That's what I don't understand. Why are they doing this?
I don't.
Why are they not? Why are they doing this if it's not to sign her onto it?
I think because they're trying to be coy.
Yeah, because she's going to be like, "That'll be $17 million, please," and they're going to be like, "No," right? But it's like she's got to. And guess what? No one's begging for her to come on like we were with Kim Cattrall. Sorry to say. You know, so she needs to just get on there and just shut the fuck up and do it. And then we'll like her again. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just suck it up. Don't make this a money maker. Make this a brand maker.
Would you like to close us out with this very important story that we've been kicking our can down? Please take it.
We need to talk about Katy Perry. I mean, the number of think pieces that have been written being like Katy Perry is stuck in 2016. Like, I would have a gun in my mouth if people wrote some stories about me like this. It's like, this new song, what is it called? Woman's World. It's a woman's world and you're lucky to be living in it, is probably the worst song I've ever heard in my life. Have you listened to it? It's so bad. Like, not only is it's just a nothing. People have likened it to like a transition song on Selling Sunset, and they're correct. And those songs are horrific. Like, horrific.
Who said that?
Someone on the internet was like, this song is like a Selling Sunset transition song. And someone's like, it's like a slutty person like going to like be a real estate agent, but it's like a man and he has his nipples out and he's wearing like a corset and it's so funny. It's so funny.
It really is a bad song though.
No, it's so terrible. But
it's almost unlistenable bad.
Everyone possible is coming out of the woodwork to just take a humongous shit on her face and be like, this is the worst song ever. You are such a loser. Like, this is so stupid. Like, you're trying to be young and you're not. And they're all right. Like, it's a colossal mistake. And she's like tanking her career in front of all of our eyes. And everyone in the world is talking about it. It's crazy that she's this. Hassan was like, there's no gay men that are not yes men around her that are like, no, girl, like, don't do this. She's really trying to like be young and like be a peer of like Charlie XCX and like Chapel Rowan. And it's like, no.
I got to get,
like,
who do I need to know? Because it's the summer and I'm old and I need to know who, Sydney Sweeney, Sabrina Carpenter, Chapel Roan. Will that do it? And Charlie XCX. Am I covered if I know who these people are?
Yeah, that's like what's happening right now.
Okay. I'll get
like,
on that.
Katy Perry is not their peer. Like, she's not like, you're what? Like, it's like, don't do this. It's bad.
It's been bad for her for a while, actually.
Yeah. But like, think about it. Her songs, great. Like Firework, Teenage Dream, beautiful song. Even like, what was the one? Like,
she's been circling the drain though for a minute. I know. All those were great, but she just sort of very quickly. You know what happened once?
She got with Orlando Bloom.
It's not even that, but I think when she got on American Idol and just showed us what a like dick she was, I think now we're just not interested.
Yeah, true.
You know, if anyone we love submit subpar material, we'll just usually support them. But once we don't like them in the material subpar, we're just like, bye.
Is that really where it was American Idol? And that's when she had that. That's when she had that album that was with like Bon Appetit, baby. What you on that you want, boy? Which like I thought was a fun song, but like that album didn't really move the needle. And I think from then on, she was trying to like
put the needle on the record.
Get back to like, you know, Teenage Dream, and we're never getting back there.
Listeners, we have a live Zoom. Our monthly live Zoom is this coming Sunday, and we'll be speaking about everything we've spoken about here.
Dominick will wear his necklace and show off his haircut.
I will show off my haircut. I will wear the necklace. We will give you advice. We will seek advice. I mean, Chris won't, but I will.
We'll have Provincetown updates from Dominick.
Yes.
We'll have, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Updates from all kinds of people. Maybe Erin Bagwell will stop in. Rebecca Bregman will probably stop in. I'm sure there will be some people popping in with stories. And it's going to be fun. I mean, we've had a blast every single time we've done this.
They never disappoint. We have great, the listeners of this podcast are truly wonderful and hilarious and engaged, and we appreciate it. Now we are about to fix the Victoria's Secret fashion show. This is a really fun episode, and we think you will like it.
Our guest today is someone that I've become new friends with through Zero Waste Daniel, our mutual friend and also friend and guest of this podcast. But you all know him as the producer, the on-air producer of Hoda and Jenna, who's constantly dressed up like Lisa Rinna.
Yeah.
Or Lisa Rinna is dressed up as you now recently. So welcome, Sean Hickey.
Hi. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
We have a similar problem with Jennifer Lopez that you have with Rinna, so we should start a support group, actually. Semi-stalking celebrities.
Yeah, it's really becoming
the
a
gaze
problem
of entertainment. Yeah.
Especially when then like Lisa Rinna comes on the show and is saying on air that she's like seen everything that I've done because
Is that true?
Yeah, because I showed her 10 seconds before she went on.
You're like, yeah, look at me like roasting you on my Instagram. Yeah.
I literally like bring her at the studio and I was like, I have to show you this because I will kick myself if I don't. Here's me as you for Halloween. Here's me as your cat. Here's my friend in a dress that I bought that I was going to, it was too much. But she's a good sport.
She loved it. What do you mean?
Please. You're the fan that she dreams of. Exactly. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. So of all the people, that's good.
I had a friend who produced a show many years ago called Soap Talk, and I can't remember who she hosted it with, but it was just like a daily roundup. And he would talk about how hard it was to focus Rinna because it would just become about Rinna and not about the actual soaps. Yep. And I
can't imagine producing her as her trying to talk about other things. Her talking about herself is perfect.
It's great.
Because there's so much to talk about and she's so good at it.
Mm-hmm.
But her talking about other people would be interesting to do.
We could probably talk about Lisa Rinna a million times longer than the Victoria's Secret fashion show. But we will switch gears. That is who we are fixing today. So Sean, how did you arrive to us? Did you suggest it or did you pick it from a list?
So Chris sent me a list and there were mostly like individual people.
Right.
And as Chris and I kind of were both thinking at the same time, we found out later was me thinking like, okay, who of these people are least likely to end up on our show and that I would have to face face to face and hope that
they didn't listen to it. Yeah.
And me talking trash about them. So then when I saw the Victoria's Secret fashion show, I was like, oh, an institution is not going to come on our show. I can talk about the Victoria's Secret show.
That's hilarious because we have a blacklist. Fixing Famous People has a blacklist as well. Mm-hmm. And, we'll talk before we broadcast sometimes and say, well, blah, blah, blah's in the news. Are we talking about her? And then the other person will just say, absolutely not. Can't do it. Still work with him. Still hate her. She knows where the bodies are buried. It's a no.
Yeah. To be honest, I wasn't even super familiar. I mean, other than like as much as the Victoria's Secret fashion show is like in pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
And then literally earlier today, I was like, I should like look into the Victoria's Secret fashion show. And I started watching all this stuff. And obviously there were a bunch of documentaries and everything.
Yeah.
And it like goes deeper than I was fully aware of. So I'm newer into the deeper lore of the fashion show, but I'm freshly very excited about it.
It
And there's connections to Jeffrey Epstein, which we will bring up later.
Yes, I mean, it is a little darker than we remember because it getting canceled, which we'll talk about in a minute. But when it went away, it was in the middle of a whole conflama of similar pop culture icons disintegrating through the Me Too movement. Now, at the top of every broadcast, when we are doing an individual person, we have a weekly tradition where we have our guest and Christopher guess the middle name of the person we're fixing. And since there isn't an actual person, I, without telling Christopher, have decided that the two of you will guess the middle name of the model who presented the first Victoria's Secret fashion show, Ms. Stephanie Seymour. So, I know you've had no prep time for this. Take all the time you need. We are not live. Stephanie Seymour, born July 23rd, 1968 in San Diego. What is supermodel Stephanie Seymour's middle name?
Okay, my thought process is Stephanie Seymour is a pretty standard, not out of the box name. For some reason, I'm thinking what flows nice and is just boring enough is Stephanie Marie.
Christopher?
Angela.
Sean, I started to shake. You did not get it, but you were so close that when you formed the M, I was about to scream. And
Is it
say
Martha?
That
Is it Martha?
it is so much more boring than that. And I'm sorry if this is your name, but it's Michelle. It is Stephanie Michelle Seymour.
Michelle is not a name in the 60s.
No, it's not, right? I bet it was avant-garde.
Well,
that's
why she's like a hot biddy, because like it was like Stephanie Michelle,
Michelle,
that was like,
that's fun.
Is it 1 L or 2?
Let's take a look. It is 2 L's. It is 2 L's.
If it was 1 L, that would be some sort of
super chic.
Because my mom
Very
is
edgy.
Michelle.
Your mom?
Very edgy.
Yeah, is a 1 L Michelle.
Oh,
Love
good.
that.
I'm glad I've just made fun of your mother's name right at the top of this. So to Madam Hickey, you have my full apology. And to all the Michelles in the land, except for 2 that I don't like, and you know who you are. Let's move on to the Victoria's Secret fashion show. I'm trying to think about when I first thought that it was a big deal, because I think in the beginning I thought that it was a joke.
Right.
Maybe because we didn't really have a carte blanche access to it, because the first few, I think, were not broadcast. They started in 1995, and the first handful of them were staged at the Plaza Hotel.
Oh, and they were just like a show just at Fashion Week like anything else?
Yeah, I think that they were, well, you know what, they really wouldn't have been like, they wouldn't have been that online at that point in 95, but no, they were not broadcast to anybody. So there's no tally of how many people watched it, but there were heavy hitters for the time there. It was Beverly Peel, Frederick Vanderwall was there. Like I said, Stephanie Seymour. I'm trying to look at the rest of the lineup. Rebecca Romaine, still just a Romaine at the time, and Veronica Webb. The second year, still no broadcast. This is now 1996. And then some even bigger names coming on, like Helena Christensen, Naomi Campbell, heard of her?
Yeah, maybe you've heard of her.
And then, of course, the model who I think of instantly whenever I think about Victoria's Secret, and that is, of course, Tyra Louise Banks. She is
your coworker.
She's the my coworker.
Your coworker. Your coworker, Dominic. What do you mean? Your coworker.
I did the warm up for 1 season of the Tyra Banks daytime talk show, and Chris will not stop referring to Tyra as my colleague.
Your coworker. I mean.
Why would you ever stop talking about that?
You know, it's true. She did once steal some of my yogurts from the community refrigerator. We were truly colleagues. Truly.
Yes. She's your coworker. Anyway.
Is that yogurt what came out of her mouth when she was foaming at the mouth? She needed it. She needed it.
I want to do a whole podcast of just rewatching the Tyra Banks show and being like, this is a menace.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a good podcast idea.
Tyra Talk. That's our next podcast, Dominic. Sean, you can be there too. We'll be a trio.
So not until season 5 did they start to broadcast it, and they broadcast it on the web in 1999.
Really?
And the beginning of it, it was famously glitchy, which is, I think, when they realized, holy shit, a lot more people are interested in this underwear fashion show than we actually think. And so it was sort of like infamously glitchy before it started being broadcast on regular television, which I believe was in 2001.
Oh, and like they were like breaking the internet, but that was when internet was like dial up. Like they were like
the internet,
like all 2 gigabytes of the internet were like couldn't like take the weight of it. Yeah,
exactly. It was a precursor to that Love Is Blind finale from last year.
Oh,
it was like the 90s version of that.
Yeah. Dominic, how dare you? How dare you invoke?
Because I'm referencing it, and I've never seen an episode of the show, but I am referencing it because Chris almost took his own life that week. When I was like,
it took a lot of time off my life. I mean, Sean, I don't want to speak for you because I feel that we're similar ages, but I will. And I feel like we are
this is full shade right here. Go ahead, Chris. Keep going. Keep going.
We are the Victoria's Secret pink era. Or do you agree with this?
Yeah, I agree with that.
We were teenagers when pink, which was like Victoria's Secret's like athleisure line before that even became a word, was like what every 15-year-old girl my age was wearing.
Because as far as I know, like pink was what they were doing to like target now teens.
Yes. And it wasn't like I'm a 30-year-old that's going to get like a negligee for my boyfriend. This was like, I'm a teen and I want to wear like sweatpants to school that are cute.
Exactly.
And like to rival like our Juicy Couture's and our Ugg boots and our that situation. Dominic, I'm so sorry to drag you here, but this is what it is.
You're not dragging me at all because I am a lifelong fan of the word negligee. Like I can't even tell you.
I did that for you.
I appreciate you bringing it back to my era. Like whenever anyone would say the word negligee on a 70s or 80s television show, straight child Dominic would go, "Oh!" out loud in front of his family.
Second only to another word that is often evoked in this kind of framework, which is décolletage.
Oh!
Yeah, sure. Yes, Sean. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were like kids when they kind of started marketing to kids, and like Victoria's Secret was like the shit. Yes. Like if you had like a pink tote bag, like as a girl in 5th grade, for me, like you were like stunting on these bitches. Like you were like, I'm killing it.
There was a moment when it seemed like an indestructible brand. You know, they all did all these vanilla sort of now vanilla brands back then, like Gap and all of them. They just seemed like the staples.
It was also like when you were walking through the mall and you saw the Victoria's Secret, kind of like when you saw the Abercrombie, it was like, oh, this is like a sexual awakening.
Yes.
This is adulthood. This is like, I'm doing something bad by just walking by this store.
Yes, like I might see boobs in here. Right. You know what I mean? Like a nipple might come out or a penis. You know
exactly.
They were bordello chic for a time in there. There was lots of burgundy bunting and all sorts of like baby doll, I Dream of Jeannie bottle shit happening in those stores.
Yes.
And like, that was their brand. I mean, they did a great job making that brand. They really did.
The store was like dark and mysterious, like much like Abercrombie and Hollister. It was like, it wasn't like marble, everything, like fake marble, everything in like white and very like stark and like here are the clothes. It was like this like secret layer that you would go in and like spray Victoria's Secret love spell all over yourself and then get a headache. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like young girls, it was like the body sprays and the lotions and the this. Like they really, like in the early 2000s, they really did a humongous push for like teen girls to idolize and like we'll get to obviously the Angels, which became, I mean, even in the later 2000s, like all of the models that were famous, like the second coming of the supermodel, they were all angels. Right. Like, who was it? Alessandra Ambrosio, Doustin Crows. I want to say Bar Raffaelli, maybe not. Maybe she was more Sports Illustrated, but like all those like Alessandra Ambrosio types that were like really famous, like right before social media, right before Instagram, where they would be like an Instagram model. Like they all like came to humongous fame from those like 2000. Like I remember vividly and like as a senior in high school, like us watching the Victoria's Secret fashion show, like it was the fucking Oscars.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I never took it that seriously. I honestly always thought that it was a bit of a joke and a marketing ploy, a great marketing ploy, you know, but it was never something that I wouldn't make an appointment to watch it. But I will say that I do think that Victoria's Secret in general extended the supermodel era probably by 2 to 3 years because of the fashion show, because that was very much like a 90s phenomenon. And they truly dragged it into the 21st century. I had to pause there to remember what century we were in. Just to point out again that I'm the oldest queen in this room. Okay, go ahead.
Well, because it also gave, even kind of between those two eras, that was like Heidi Klum and Giselle, like all these people that we know now is like, we take for granted that there are and were supermodels. Like it was the Victoria's Secret fashion show that really made them household names
and put them in our homes. Like truly, like
because those other shows that weren't broadcast, you don't really know them all that much. And you're right, before social media, because now social media is like you're knowing the names of people who are in these rooms that you can't see. But at that time, like if they weren't on TV, you weren't really seeing them.
And even like the commercials, like remember the commercials that were on TV and it'd be like Victoria's Secret, a semi-annual sale, blah, blah, blah. And it would be like Tyra Banks with this like amazing, like little matching number of like a cute bra and a cute panties. And they would just look beautiful. And there'd be like the pillows and the feathers flying everywhere. And they're like looking, and it's just like model, like go to your mall. You know what I mean? It was like so elevated and very sexual and like
very.
Yeah.
In fact, that first network broadcast in 2001 yielded a lot of complaints to the FCC. No fines were imposed or anything, but they definitely took a look at the first broadcast to determine whether it was, I don't know how it's not just a blatant infomercial, because that's exactly what it was, but also that it was so sexual in nature. And so they blurred, actually, in that first broadcast, they blurred, which I did not know until today, some of the more sheer lingerie or negligees.
I mean, it is women just walking around in their underwear. So it is like, it's not
it's
not G-rated.
No, it's all nip. It's like the whole, like, there's only so many pasties you're going to put on. Like they're nude, which is fine.
And the joke was like the Victoria's Secret catalog was like Playboy for like teens. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like if you couldn't get a Playboy, like you were like grabbing the Victoria's Secret calendar. I mean, just like all three of us were obviously doing that. You grabbing the Victoria's Secret catalog to like jerk off to in the bathroom. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember those days. The complaint stuck with them pretty much through the entirety of the broadcast. In 2009, the American Decency Association.
Oh, brother.
What a fun club that must be to join. The American Decency Association organized an email campaign to the sponsors of the fashion show, which included AT&T, Netflix, Reebok, and my favorite for an underwear fashion show, a Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yes, love that.
So fantastic. The trivia about this.
Honestly, that's fantastic. Great. I actually love that a lot. Yeah. And well, another thing is like, don't forget, like, this is before like The Voice and all these other like like American Idol existed, but like you would get like Maroon 5 as performing at the end of the runway. And then Adam, I vividly remember Adam Levine performing Maroon 5, and it was like Moves Like Jagger probably, or one of the, in that era. And like his girlfriend at the time, question mark, was one of the angels, and like walked down the runway. And when she got there, he like was finished singing his line and turned and like planted a kiss on her cheek. And we were like fucking jizzing, being like, oh my God, this is like crazy. You know what I mean? It was like, it really was a spectacle. Like, didn't Taylor Swift perform one year and that was a big deal?
Yes. Yeah.
And that has come back as a gif of her being like hit with one of the wings, I think.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh wow.
I forget.
There was one of like, yeah, and there was a whole hierarchy where it was like you could only have wings if you were an angel, and that was like basically like the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders right now. It's like when they make them wear that red. I don't know if you've watched it yet, Sean, but they make the tryout ones that aren't on the team yet. They make them wear a red uniform at like in shame of like, you haven't earned this yet. And it's like, that's like what they did. It's like, you only had wings if you were an angel. And if you were like a new girl, you didn't have wings.
Wow.
You just wore a costume. And it became like this like Cirque du Soleil, like, yes, it's all for bras and panties, but it turned into this like massive performance Super Bowl halftime show for no reason.
Right.
And it really became, I remember Lady Gaga when Joanne was on, like when Joanne came out, which wasn't that long ago, she like performed at the Victoria's Secret fashion show and like looked amazing. I remember tuning back in to see it.
Wasn't that the one that they did in Paris or something?
It might have been. And she had like a black dress with like roses all over it, and she looked incredible.
I think it was like her, The Weeknd, and someone else did. Like they all performed at this one.
Oh, if you weren't doing the Super Bowl, like, and you weren't doing like either the Oscars or the like Grammys, like this was the biggest performance of the year, basically. Yeah. It was big. Like it was huge. Like for them to stop doing it was a big deal, in my opinion.
And you know what's so funny? It's one of these brands where, because I'm scrolling through the history now on the wiki page, and it started airing on television in 2001, and that was its highest audience at that time. And then it fell off pretty quickly and stayed low and got lower. And it just seems like, I feel like it was a much bigger deal than what the ratings I'm looking at are indicating, because it seems like it peaked the year it came out and then just steadily went down. I want to talk about one thing before we get into the dark times of Victoria's Secret.
The underbelly of Victoria's Secret.
Is the fantasy bra, which one of the funniest little sort of clincher detail, just that there's one bejeweled bra every year that's sort of like the showstopper. And when Sean is talking about like how many ways can you do something, it truly is like, how many bejeweled bras
how
can you possibly do?
Patterns of bejeweling can you do on one bra?
Because like also it's supposed to be you can't like Swarovski the shit out of it because no one's gonna wear a 30.
And like under their clothing, it's like it's like sandpaper underneath. Like it's like soaking
too
bulky. Holes through a t-shirt.
Yeah. It's like a cheese grater under its shirt.
Honestly, that's a free offer to anybody going to the Met Gala. That's a great Met Gala look. By the time you get up the stairs, the bra has ripped through the shirt.
Sean.
Victoria's Secret fashion show as a theme for the Met Gala. There's bra.
Everyone's dresses are shredded by the time they get to the top. That's fantastic.
I mean, Victoria's Secret fashion show as the Met Gala is
different wings, different.
And
Sean, guys, that's genius. I'm sorry to say. Can you imagine?
I know it's not my job to, but that's my offer to fix.
Call Anna.
Like she would
get
never.
To her.
You know what?
Get to her. How can Sean? I know you can. Sean, I know you can. Make Hoda call her.
I was gonna say she'd never stoop that low, but. The K's have already been on the front of that magazine, so it's like we're done. Right. We are bottom. So she'd probably do it with Claire's actually boutique, not even Victoria's Secret. At this
Everyone
point,
gets pierced inside.
Yeah, there's a piercing line at the front, at the top of the stairs.
And if I may just put a cherry on that brilliant sundae that Sean recommended, let's do that at the Met Gala. And at the top of the stairs, the security person is that vicious woman from the Cannes Film Festival. Just throw her in there. The one that tried to beat up Kelly Rowland.
Yeah, like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, like her. Yeah.
She too is wearing one of the bras.
Why hasn't she gone on a press tour? Like, why haven't we embraced her in the way that those like Willy Wonka experience characters have?
Right. Unfortunate souls.
Why have we not turned that security guard into like a camp counterculture figure?
Well, everyone hates her. Everyone is calling for her head. So that's probably why.
House of Villains season 3.
She should be.
Oh honestly. My God.
Survivor, Heroes vs. Villains.
Or Traitors or something.
Traitor. She'd be great on Traitor. She'd be like, go this way on the challenge. She'd be like, bitch, like, don't even fucking, don't lay a hand on me. We've seen what you can do. Yeah.
Oh my God. A lot of famous people wore that fantasy bra, which I didn't know. Heidi Klum, Adriana Lima, Giselle Bündchen.
Oh, Adriana Lima is another one. Her name was not at the ready for me, but she's like the other of Alessandra Ambrosio that was like a superstar.
Yeah. Well, Giselle, Tyra, and Alessandra wore two fantasy bras, actually. Wow. So they are true VS superstars.
Yeah.
Tyra also wore the 1996 $1 million miracle bra.
Dear God.
Right.
Can you imagine owning a bra that costs more than every car on the street you're wearing the bra on?
Well, at that point, it's like a piece of artwork. Like they just put a number on it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like at that point, it's art and it's like subjective. And it's just like, okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The $15 million price tag for the 2000 bra worn by Giselle earned a place in the Guinness Book of World Records as the most expensive item of lingerie ever created.
Dear brother, dear God and oh brother is what I'm saying.
Dear God.
5 things on that list. Like who's making
here's this like thong that I bejeweled with like.
And for anyone who cares, there is a full grid of the fantasy bra wearers on the Victoria's Secret Fashion Show Facebook page, and you will find that the fantasy bra has been worn by more Brazilian women than any other nationality on our planet Earth. There you have it.
Wow.
So glad to know that.
I also didn't know a lot of these people were Brazilian.
Oh, well, look at them, Dominic. They're like, how do you think they get that way?
Because isn't Giselle Brazilian?
She is. She's one of the people that I didn't realize was Brazilian.
Well, because she walked at the Rio Olympic Games. She walked across.
I didn't.
Oh my God, you're right.
And
it was like her final walk ever.
And that was when I learned that she was Brazilian.
Yeah, we were like, huh? We were like, why is she here?
Right. No, because I wouldn't have thought, I've heard her speak before and it still wasn't getting Brazilian. I thought she had a cleft palate. Is that rude? Do we need to take that out?
You're horrible.
I just didn't know. I didn't know she was Brazilian.
So I think it's time.
It is time. Let's open up this coffin. Let's pull the bodies out.
As we go in the world, a little birdie named Jeffrey Epstein rears his ugly head and gets, the downfall of him happens. And we find out that the reason that he has so much money and so much power is somewhat in, relation to him working underneath Les Wexler, who was the owner of L Brands, which owns Victoria's Secret, The Limited, Abercrombie and Fitch, Bath and Body Works, etc. Like all of our, favorite mall stores. So he's rolling in money. Once he goes to jail and maybe kills himself or not. Once Ghislaine is on the lam and is captured. Like once all this is happening and we're finding the story out as the American people, we're finding out that like he went around for a long time being like, oh, I work at Victoria. Like I could make you a Victoria's Secret angel. I could make you this. I could make you blah, blah. And used L Brands and the Victoria's Secret name and this man's money to, wreak havoc on the world. And so that really, I don't think they've even ever really come back from that.
Well, because all of this was happening at the same time. The company had always had difficulty reconciling this fashion show with bodies that weren't the bodies of American women.
Yeah, this is inducing eating disorders amongst every girl alive. Right. Yes, which like true. They were rail thin. It was not body inclusive.
That sort of thing was just taken with a grain of salt and truly not taken seriously until Me Too started happening. And then people really did start to listen to all that stuff. And between that and the sales declining and the Me Too movement in general, and then finding out that Victoria's Secret was Jeffrey Epstein, this was tie this whole company in a bow. And then that was it. And so they canceled the show.
Not for nothing. Sports Illustrated was, which is like kind of their peer in the sense of like a star maker of like models. They had Ashley Graham and they had the other, they had that whole one season where they were like, oh no, we're going to show like every size person.
Right.
And like all these beautiful models of every size and be inclusive. And that like Victoria's Secret was not having it.
No.
And I think it was like the number 2 guy or something at Victoria's Secret was asked if they would ever put a trans woman in the Victoria's Secret fashion show.
Here we go.
He said no. And then that created this whole backlash that then I think that, I don't know if it was because of that, but soon after they announced that they weren't going to be doing the show that year. And then he came out and he was like, no, we would, but we're still going to cancel it. And also now I'm leaving the company. So
there you go. And also I'm trans.
Really wasn't an issue.
Like, also, and
he's also trans
tomorrow. Yeah. Like that truly like, no, we would do that and what and blah, blah, and I'm leaving. Goodbye. Yeah. So that was,
like every wrong step they could have made, they kind of made.
Yeah. And then she proved it to us by then admitting that they made the wrong choice. And this man lost his job.
Who had been with the company for years. And
I'm sure. Well, and they were probably like, we're paying you out and you are done. Like I'm sure he's NDA to the hill because they were probably like, where every single body's buried. Goodbye.
Literally.
Right. So
we get through COVID. No one's buying $10 million bras during COVID.
They sure not.
Everyone's unemployed and fighting for their lives.
I only bought 2.
No one's buying negligees either. You know what I mean? Everyone's like in sweatpants. They're like, their pink sweatpants are wearing out.
And last year, 2023, there's some sort of half-baked, we're going to be on Amazon Prime and do Victoria's Secret tours the world. And it's sort of them dipping their toe back in. Can we do this again? Because it was actually a pretty fierce idea and we would like to bring it back. I don't know what the success of that 2023 tour was, but it was enough that in May, they announced that the full show is going to be returning this fall.
Okay, I'm so sorry to bring us back, but I'm forgetting a big piece of this puzzle.
Do it.
We are forgetting that Rihanna, once a performer at the Victoria's Secret fashion show,
a performer, period.
Launches Savage Fenty, which is her own like her response to Victoria's Secret, basically.
Yeah.
And then had multiple shows on Amazon Prime, I believe it was, of like the Savage Fenty show, which is basically like what we all wanted the Victoria's Secret fashion show to be. It was like, there was drag queens, there was trans girls, there was like people of all sizes, people of all colors, people, you know what I mean? Like all these underrepresented groups. And then Rihanna came out and just like showed us her face for 5 minutes. And I was like, okay, it's not about me. Bye. Didn't even perform. Like, there was men in it. There was, you know what I mean? It was every kind of person it was the Benetton ad of like the, you know, what we want of the
Right.
Victoria's Secret fashion show. And that really kind of fucking hurt them too, because they were like, well, look, she's doing it. Why can't you do it?
Mm-hmm.
And they
Well,
were
and
kind of,
It's
And
a
then the
great point.
2023 tour just looked like an attempt to then do Savage Fenty.
Oh,
because
really?
it was all like, I just watched the trailer again because I was like, I remember that, but I didn't remember what it was. And I watched the trailer, and it was supposed to be like, oh, in these 4 different countries. And it was like Colombia and Nairobi and all these countries around the world, and like designer. It's like half documentary, half fashion show. It was very unclear what it was. At the end, it was like by Victoria's Secret. And then at the beginning, it was like also featuring Doja Cat. And then Naomi Campbell was there, but they didn't name her. And
there's your other problem right there.
Right, yeah.
but, like the only name you're going to drop is Doja Cat. Meanwhile, there's shots of Naomi Campbell in this trailer and you're not mentioning her.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like an attempt at the Savage Fenty thing, which is like that, like models walking through a dark castle and it's a lighting and a thing.
Yeah, and it's like
And I went through the comments because I was like, I wonder how people received this at the time. Every comment was like, where's the pink? Where's the wings? Where's the glitter? Like, we want our old Victoria's Secret fashion show back. We don't want this.
Yeah, like, what is this? Yeah, like, we don't want like the 2.0. We just want the Victoria's Secret fashion show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I wonder if people took a turn to going back to wanting pre-Me Too, I mean, not obviously the culture of it, but like the show of it.
Yeah.
I liked the show.
Yeah.
Like when they would, because they would, you know what else they did too, which was really fun, is that they would be like, right before the models would go out, they would be like, have a camera on them in the BTS, like right before they go.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, I'm going out. I'm going out. And then they would, you know, they were like hyping themselves up. And then it would be like, okay, 3, 2, 1, send Giselle. And then it would be like, you would hear them on the mic, like calling the show, even if it's fake. And like, they would be like, and then it'd be like, Giselle's coming. And then it'd be like her coming out, and you would kind of follow her like with the one camera. And then you'd pick her up coming out of the thing. And then like, she would pull a cord and her wings would come out. And it was like, a lot of pageantry.
Yes.
That was like fun and a big show. And like, then this like singer would come out and it would be really cool. Like, it really was kind of like a Super Bowl halftime show.
Mm-hmm.
And that part of it is fun and like a big performance. And so, I don't know. I have inside information on victoriassecret.com that says the Victoria's Secret Fashion Show 2024. We've read the comments and heard you. The Victoria's Secret Fashion Show is back, and we reflect who we are today, plus everything you know and love, the glamour, the runway, wings, musical entertainment, and more.
Great.
Stay tuned. It only gets more iconic from here. From what I read of that, it's like we're the 2024 version of what you guys all loved back in the day.
Right.
Which I think is great.
Yes.
What that will be, do we know, or do they even know yet? We're not sure.
I think it's time to get into the fix.
Okay, Sean, this is when Dominick and I will ply you with pitches for what the Victoria's Secret fashion show should do. Dominick's getting ready.
Oh.
And then you will decide a winner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I wear one of my brassiers while doing this?
Yeah.
Or
honest, do you have a millennium bra or whatever it is? What is it
I
called?
have a miracle bra. Bejeweled. That's another good one. I'm putting bejeweled on the negligee and décolletage list.
Yeah. I think, okay, this just popped into my head.
Oh, this is good.
And
I
don't think
it's
even
going to be good.
I don't even think it's feasible to do this, but
even better.
You could. If you spent a lot of money, you could. Or they could be doing it right now. We don't even know. But this is what they should do. They could do it. If they started tomorrow, they could do this. The Victoria's Secret fashion show obviously needs to be updated. I need everyone represented.
Mm-hmm.
I need trans girls in there. I need queer girls in there. I need body diversity to the hilt. I need color diversity.
I want to be annoyed at how many boxes they're ticking because they have to do that.
Yeah,
no
correct.
matter what.
Correct. We should be rolling our eyes at how inclusive it is. That is that level, because it must be that for us to not like rip them to shreds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want all shapes and sizes, and like I want Lizzo basically there. You know what I mean? Like I want like we're trotting them out.
Mm-hmm.
I want so many different people. Yeah. But what I want is this is what they have to focus on.
Uh-huh.
They need to take a page out of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader documentary and take a page out of like what we as millennials loved so much about the shows that we watched when we were younger is like from like the Power Rangers or the, Sailor Moon and all these shows where it was like there are these united people and it's the team that assembles the Avengers. I want them to make a show that's like becoming the next Victoria's Secret Angels. And I want it to be like, there are 15 slots and we are going to have like, and it can be shot. This can be on Max. It can be shot beautifully. And I want it to be like 75 people, men, women, everything in between, everything outside of, show up and are like, I want to be a Victoria's Secret Angel. And like, we assemble, I mean, we get Naomi Campbell on there, obviously, to be the villain. Like, hello, what are we doing? What are we, stupid?
Right.
I want a star-studded judging panel. And it's basically America's Next Top Model, but like, there's 15 slots. So it's not one person wins. It's like, here, we need to figure out the team. There was a show on Max that was called like, it was for like Magic Mike, like who's going to be the next Magic Mike. And it was like, they needed to assemble the team. That's what I want this
Lizzo did that too. Lizzo's reality.
Yes.
Much that.
Correct. I want like who's going to be on the team, what's making the band. You know what I mean? Like I'm assembling the team. There's all these different challenges. It's the whole thing is a commercial for Victoria's Secret. Obviously, there's the pink challenge. There's the fragrance challenge. There's the miracle bra challenge. There's the negligee challenge. There's it's everything. It's the pink panties. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what we didn't bring up is like Aerie was like the American Eagle version of like Victoria's Secret that we didn't even bring up as a competitor that's in every mall as well.
God,
but I digress. I'm so sorry. You know, you're hunting for these people to be like the next angels. And then in the culmination of it is you see them come out as the Victoria's Secret Angels. And like, it's a star maker. You know what I mean? You're taking these people out of obscurity and they now become a supermodel. Period. Done. And it's like, all different people, and then they come out for the first time with their wings, and it's like gangbusters. And again, musical guests, don't care who it is. Like whatever the show is, the show is.
It never has mattered.
It's never mattered, but we're invested in the models again.
Yeah, this is not SNL.
And you're taking these new people, and you're skyrocketing their fame in 2 days, and they're just like larger than life out of nowhere, and it's fucking amazing. And that is my pitch.
Wow. I'm not trying to fuck with our format or make this harder for Sean, but I love that idea. And I also love my idea.
Okay.
And
how is that different from any normal thing?
But it's not because I like your ideas usually, but I'm like, oh, this one's better. But I'm just wondering if they can be combined. Maybe I'm just trying to push my way into a win. I don't know. So here's what I would do. I think that this Victoria's Secret fashion show has to be, I want it ushered in by the models of old. They still need to be actively involved. They need to almost, maybe quite physically, perhaps with a flaming brassiere, pass the torch to the new one.
I spit my water out. I just spit my water out. I did everything that I could.
I'm not laughing at my joke.
Everywhere. Like
Chris did just spit.
No, Dominick, that is.
But they have to be involved. And this is the thing, though, about Victoria's Secret.
God damn you.
Their audience has been reprogrammed, and now Rihanna owns them. So they have to go after the people who were using them 20 years ago and say, hey, it's okay to come back. But they have an image problem. So in addition to having the supermodels give way. And that, by the way, having the old supermodels there ticks off 30% of the boxes you need.
Sure.
You know, they're all in their 50s minimum. They are all, because they're in their 50s now, built like normal American women. And they would do a great job, and they could introduce us to we could use a new crop of supermodels, I think. Anyway, I think that's a whole era I would love to come back. And I think that they could sort of hand pick, which is why I was thinking if the older models were running your new show, Chris, and they were the ones admitting that it wasn't diverse enough and that they were going to pick this new crop of, you know, all genders, all races, etc. That would be fun, because I loved that supermodel documentary.
Wow.
On Apple TV. I loved it. I mean, seeing them all be such cool people and somehow relatable, even though they never were back then, I loved it. But here's my clincher. Victoria's Secret is not going to come back and is not going to un-Me Too themselves unless they are blessed by Jesus or Taylor Swift or somebody. I need the miracle bejeweled bra to be worn by Dolly Parton, period, end of sentence.
Dominic, take one single solitary guess who I thought you were going to say.
Who I thought you... Did you think I was going to say Chrissy Metz?
No. How dare you?
I really thought I was going to say that.
No, that is a great guess because you often compare yourself to Chrissy Metz. However, I thought you were going to say Meghan Markle.
That would end
the brand fully.
Can you imagine?
Would shut down the next day.
Oh my God. I love that idea, but no, it's got to be Dolly who, and I thought you were about to say this too when you started talking about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. I'm like, fuck, he's thinking the same thing.
Oh no.
Because Dolly just turned up in that outfit. But that's it. And I mean, I don't know what to do. So that's my idea doesn't include the reality show, but I want to put my old supermodels on Chris's reality show.
Sure. I mean, I did say like get Naomi Campbell on there as the thing. You know what I mean? It's not.
You did. Yeah.
Like it's not. But yes, I'd love that. All right, Sean.
Yeah, it's sort of a fine line here. So we have to sort of have my idea can't include the reality show or a tweaking of Chris's show. It's just got to be my show is on its own.
So, because I love a reality show, so that already piqued my interest. Although I will say the one thing I was thinking was if you're not committing yourself to watching this whole show, by the time the fashion show actually happens, do you actually care? So what my thought was, okay, have these 15 girls come out, but still have them come out between the Giselles, the Naomis, like all of the legacy models. So Dominic, when you brought that up, I was like, okay, that's what I was thinking too. And the Dolly thing is just so good because she still plays with her Playboy, photos, even to this day. She loves it. I have a t-shirt with that Playboy cover on.
Oh my God.
It's one of my favorite shirts. So I'm so into that. So for me right now, the decision is between Dolly Parton and the reality show.
Yeah.
I mean, King Solomon couldn't do this, actually. This is a gay man's dilemma. Choice.
A dilemma.
I think only because I'm not sure Dolly fully encapsulates the legacy of the brand and the meaning of the brand over time in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to have to go with Chris on this one.
This is a huge
because the reality show is because the reality show can also make them more money.
Yes.
And it builds up excitement to get back to what they have always done. And also where I thought you were going to go with what we loved about those shows back then was the facet of them all living in a house together. Because you remember like early in the Idol days,
like
the show was they lived in a house together and like, oh, Clay Aiken's like gonna sneak and give a massage to Ruben as like they have professional masseuses over. But like there was just like pulling pranks on each other in the house. Like even shows that have nothing to do with living together, that was part of it. And I think having a bunch of people who want to be Victoria's Secret models living in a house together. And I loved that Lizzo reality show.
And you know what else too I'm thinking about is like even the company itself could be like, okay, here's our new like SVP. And it's this like older but gorgeous but older like woman who has like long hair and is really beautiful and is like, hello everyone. Like this is what we're looking for. Like our angel is this now. You know what I mean? You like introduce this new like president of the company who's like hot and like you both know exactly who that is. You know what I mean? Like in your mind. And it's like, oh, look, they like turned over a new leaf as a brand and a company. And like, we have this woman at the helm now, not like Jeffrey Epstein's like enabler. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, like that.
Well, when Dolly eventually just comes out wearing feathered pasties at the Savage Fenty show, you two will regret this day, won't you?
I'll regret a lot.
Oh God, no, Dominic. That was, truly, it was either or. It was neck and neck.
Yeah. It was a Sophie's choice for Sean. Yeah. The choices aren't normally that difficult, but this was a good one. Who knew? Yeah. Sean, what a pleasure it has been to meet you and to have you here. Thank you so much. Listeners, we wish you could see Sean's apartment. It is truly lovely.
It's
truly
stunning.
Lovely.
Truly stunning. Just like you. Sean, where can people find you other than watching you on Hoda and Jenna as you berate them and like yell at them, which is the best thing ever?
Yeah, I realized today, I was like, I might just be too mean to them.
No, they love it, I'm sure.
You can find me on Instagram, Sean, that's SEAN, P Hickey, like the thing you get on your neck. Or on TikTok, for some reason, I made this name before I thought I'd ever post, and now I have like 20,000 followers. I'm Shondelisa Rice.
Love it. Amazing. Amazing.
Which is just a stupid name a friend of mine came up with like in 2019. And I was like, I don't want anybody to follow me on TikTok. This is dumb. And then somebody dared me to post once a day. And I did that for a year and a half and gained 20,000 followers. And weirdly, nobody questions that I'm Shondelisa Rice. So you can find me there. If
they shouldn't.
They will now. We are the third most listened to podcast in certain sections of Rhode Island. And that is a hotbed of
perfect
internet
gossip.
You're done.
If Condoleezza is listening and I know she's a fan, then she can DM me and I'll sell her the name back.
You'll sell it to her, even though it's not even her name.
Just so that her name is not tarnished by what I post.
Exactly.
Oh, God, Sean, thank you seriously for being here. Dominick, where can people find you?
Oh, the website's dominatory.com and the socials are at Dominick Pupa. Christopher, where can our listeners find you on the World Wide Web?
You can find me at the DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People, and you can find the Patreon at patreon.com/Fixing Famous People. You can also find the candles in the link in our bios on our Instagrams, or you can go to Wax Cabin Candle Company. I wish you both well, and as always, where's Shelly? Goodbye.